Hello Cancer, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section will be looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you are a cross watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and to leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Cancer, we're going to jump on in. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first. So we're going to look at your energy toward the connection, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it with oracle cards. And then I will dive into the story with tarot as we progress with this reading. But Cancer, let's first start with looking at your energy toward the person. Oh, that card just popped up. Towards the person you're dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Cancer side of the connection toward the person they are dealing with. Quality time. I'm kind of drawn to this clock here. Passion and connection. Okay. When you and this person are together, when you're spending time together, I feel like the connection is really intense and really like exciting, like kind of almost, almost invigorating in a way. But then when there's distance here, I feel like there's a lot of distance, and I feel like that distance creates a lot of anxiety about the connection and where it's headed, because I feel like there are periods where, you feel really close to this person, you feel really close to the connection, and then there are periods where you feel really distant from it, and you feel like, you're not getting the care, the attention, maybe the effort that you deserve here. So I feel like, kind of breaking down and understanding what's going on below the surface is really important, because there's something a little off about this dynamic, and I don't really know what it is yet, but we'll see. This person's energy toward you, Cancer. The separation card poked out, but I'm not going to take it because it doesn't feel... I just want to see what comes out. Euphoria with optimism. Okay, so what's the blockage here? Detachment. And then there's this fate card, and then there's separation again. This person has really strong feelings toward this connection too, and I feel like this connection brings them a lot of really intense positive feelings into their life, like with this Euphoria card. But then there's this energy of being very detached, almost like, and this is the best way that I can put it, like pretending not to care, or being detached from like true feelings or true emotions. And I feel with this fate card, I think that this is something that, because like to me, this fate represents something karmic, like some sort of a karmic cycle or a karmic experience. And I don't know if they're like stuck in this karmic cycle and that keeps them detached from this connection. And I don't know what this would be. Or if there's like this emotional withdrawal or unavailability here that keeps them from fully allowing this connection to develop. Either way, I feel like this is what it is that you're feeling, this detachment here. The feelings are, I feel like that they have are real, but this detachment card feels very like, they don't care. Like that's, I feel like how it's kind of coming off. Truth of the connection between Cancer and this person. Divine timing with growth. So there's this energy of waiting. You spend a lot of time waiting on this person. Waiting on them to show up, waiting on them to respond, waiting on them to, be in your life. Like, it's like you're constantly finding yourself waiting for this person. And then the times where things are together are really good. And I feel like you're wanting things to grow in this connection, but it's like it never really is given the chance, because as much closeness there is that gets created, there's this person then puts like twice as much distance between the two of you. So, yeah, it's like a lot of waiting on them. Let's see what's going on here. Let's look at the overall theme of this connection between you and this person. This person definitely cares more than they let on, though. And I think that, I think you know that too. Maybe intuitively, or maybe you just like kind of know them. Okay, overall theme of this. Ignoring the pain. I feel like you really want more out of this connection, out of this commitment, out of, this person. And yeah, because there's the you don't love me, you moved on. Like, this is how you start to feel. You don't love me, you don't move on. Like, you moved on, you don't care. Like, there's this just constant desire for more. Yet, I don't feel like, and I think that this is why the separation card didn't come out. I don't feel like this connection, well, maybe it is in full-blown separation, but there's still, like, a connection there. I don't know if you guys, like, come back together and there are moments where you experience that closeness or what. But I feel like it's like you're always left kind of wanting more commitment, more effort, more connection, kind of feeling a sense of not getting what you need here. Okay. Let's break this down even more, because I feel like that actually confused me more. All right, let's look at your side, Cancer, connection with quality time, Cancer's energy toward this person. Cancer side of the connection here. This Three of Cups is, I feel like, a reflection of like this desire that you hold when it comes to the closeness of this connection. Like, I feel like you're wanting this person to be a bigger part of your life than they are. I feel like in this connection, it sometimes feels like you're making progress and things are moving forward, and then there are periods of time where then it just all of a sudden feels like things stop. Like there's no more growth, there's no more progression, almost like, because the Chariot in reverse can like almost feel like this dead end. You hit some sort of a dead end with this person. And I think with this Page of Pentacles, even just kind of the imagery, I feel like tells a story. It's like you're waiting for that opportunity. You're waiting for that connection to move forward, to make progress. And I think that you have, held on to this desire of this Three of Cups for a while, but it just feels like you're constantly in this place of desiring it, but never really having it. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. It's like you're constantly kind of feeling a loss here. Feeling as if you don't have what you need, a loss and a lack. Like you're missing them, and you're wishing there was more, and you're wishing that things were, like they are sometimes, but like majority of the time. Which is what you deserve. You deserve closeness. You deserve commitment. You deserve consistency. The Knight of Cups in reverse. There's something about this that's really triggering. I feel like this connection has a really kind of a very big emotional hold on you in ways that, okay, the Six of Wands here, in ways that you, maybe like other people haven't really, like it's almost like this person, yeah, they have like this hold on you. And I think that it's almost like if it were any other person, you would have like given up on it or let it go or moved on to something else. But I feel like because it's them and because of the connection that you feel with them, I feel like you keep kind of holding on to that hope of what things could eventually be. And I think that this puts you in a really, it makes you feel really powerless because it's like, I want what this potential is, but it feels like the ball isn't in your court. And I feel like you feel like the ball isn't in your court. Like, again, going back to kind of waiting on them to show up, waiting on them to commit, waiting on them to make a change, which leaves you in this loss. And then it's just like, yeah, it's this cycle. And then like, again, there are times where I feel like you have a lot of hope around things getting better, hope around things finally progressing, and then there might be closeness, time spent together, or whatever, but then you go right back to the distance. You're right back to the lack. And then you're like sitting there going, well, that was nice, but I want that more. I want that consistently, which makes sense. You deserve that connection. It feels like this connection is very inconsistent is what it is. Like this person's very inconsistent in your life. Their presence and the effort that they give and the ways that they show up. All right, let's look at this person's energy toward you, Cancer. This person's energy toward you. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This is this energy of total stagnancy. Kind of being stuck in the same place, like no forward movement, no progress. No action forward. Like it's very stagnant. Don't necessarily know how that relates here. Judgment in reverse. They're very disconnected from their own truth and their own feelings here. I feel like being disconnected from themselves is a way that they feel the most safe. Like when they're disconnected from their own feelings, then, they don't have to feel the bad ones kind of thing. Which definitely, yeah, it puts them in this emotionally disconnected place. This person's energy toward you. There's also a lack of self-awareness here. I feel like they struggle to see how their actions and their behavior impacts others. These are all in reverse. The Emperor in reverse. They fail to see how they don't have the awareness of how their actions, impact other people. And I think with the Emperor in reverse, they tend to reach for control. This person does not like vulnerability. They do not like feeling vulnerable. They do not like feeling that, like, they don't like letting people in. So they constantly reach for control, which is why they create that distance, because they don't have to have vulnerability if they never actually get attached, right? If they never actually care, then it's easier when things don't work out. Like that's kind of, I'm not saying that that's like, oh, this isn't going to work out and that's why they're approaching this. I'm saying that is their approach. So kind of the expectation of, getting their heart broken. And I think that it puts them in this position of really never giving this connection a full shot. Like they never really allow it to grow and to evolve. And I think that that's what's really hard, is you're waiting on that to change. You're waiting on the behavior here to change. This person's energy toward you. Page of Swords. This person talks a lot. They got a lot to say, a lot of words to say, but there's never really like, oh, I care about you and I miss you. And it's like, well, if you care about me and you miss me, you do something, like change the behavior, change the way that you show up. Oh, I love you so much. Like, I want this to work. Okay, then do something about it. Like it's like the ball's in their court, but they're not doing anything about it. And I think that it's interesting because the desire is here, and I do think that they really care about you and they care about the connection, but it's easier for them if they make themselves believe that they don't care. Like if they just disconnect and they're like, oh, I don't actually care about this person, I don't care what they have to say. Like it's just easier for them. This Lovers in reverse represents these deep-seated beliefs around feeling not good enough for love, feeling not good enough to receive love and to have the love that they ultimately deserve, which makes sense why this control really comes in, because the desire to love and be loved is there, but there's feelings of unworthiness and undeservingness that are there that cause them to show up in that protection of themselves. Well, I'm not deserving of it, so I can't have it, so I don't want to let myself open up to it, so I'm just going to push it away. Or I'm going to, maybe even choose situations that don't make me feel vulnerable, like surface level connections, or like I'm just going to put all my energy into work. And that might be the karmic situation, is like they're constantly choosing what doesn't serve them, even though they don't necessarily desire those things, but those things don't require them to go into any sort of depth. Like there's no challenge of self there. And that's the thing, is like the things that require us to be vulnerable are the things that also open up to experience some of the most beautiful things in life. But being vulnerable requires a willingness to trust, a willingness to open up, a willingness to relinquish control. And I think that this person there's just an unwillingness to do that. So I feel like they have a desire for this, and so that's why I feel like they do kind of keep you hanging on with words, but they never back it up with action. And I think that that's where you're needing to get honest with yourself a little bit here, Cancer, about what it is that you deserve, because you deserve a lot more than that. And like I think that it's important to understand why people do the things that they do. Like obviously this person is pushing away love and pushing away what could be really good for them because they don't think they can have it. There's emotional unavailability there. All those things are true. Gosh, this is crazy. It's almost every single card was in reverse except for the Fool, because then Justice in reverse on the bottom. It's funny because then every card underneath this is upright. So you could be dealing with a fire sign. I've seen the Queen of Wands around a lot. So that would be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You don't have to be, but you could be. Just like to call it out. There's a lack of accountability here, and I kind of felt that, like a lack of awareness with the Judgment in reverse, of being honest about how, like I feel like they're very focused on how they feel and what they feel they need. Which is why they're like, I care about Cancer and I want to have this connection in my life, but I don't necessarily want to say like they're keeping options open, because that's not necessarily what I feel, but more so like they don't want to fully commit because they don't want to open themselves up to that vulnerability. And that's where we have to, like I said, get honest about what it is that we deserve, and ultimately what it is somebody else is actually capable of, because everybody has a capacity to give and receive love in a healthy way, and that capacity is going to be directly dependent on how much healing someone's done, how much self-awareness somebody has, how much emotional availability somebody has been able to reach, and how somebody shows up in relationships. It's less to do with their feelings toward us or their desire about the connection, and more to do with that capacity. And one of the best things my therapist ever taught me is that we cannot take somebody else's limited capacity to love personally, and we can't, and even more so, we can't wait on that capacity to change, because what that does is that keeps us investing in somebody for the potential of who they could be, which is somebody who doesn't exist, right? Somebody is who they are. They're not who they could be. Who they could be is who they could be if they healed, if they grew. I mean, it's obvious that this person has a lot of healing to do. And I think that like it's hard for you because I feel intuitively you do know that this person cares about you. I feel like that they have feelings for you. Like all of that is there. They do care about this connection. They do have feelings for you. Like despite how they show up, those feelings are there and they're very real. But think of it this way, like, and I've used this example in readings before. Somebody can want to run a marathon, right? Somebody can want to be able to run a marathon. But if they don't show up for the training and, invest in doing what they need to be prepared for that, come marathon day, they're probably going to fail. Like, it's the nature of it, right? If we don't do the healing and the growth and we have a desire for love, but we have no idea how to show up for that love or how to open up our capacity to give and receive it in a healthy way, we're never going to be able to find the love that we deserve. We're going to constantly find ourselves pushing it away or self-sabotaging it or choosing it in wrong people or wrong spaces. And that's where we have to understand that, somebody else not choosing us is more of a reflection of where they're at on their journey and not a reflection of what's possible for us in love. I think a lot of times we tend to attach, we attach ourselves to what we think is necessary in order for us to have love. We do it a lot with the label of twin flame or soulmate. We say, this is my twin flame, or this is my soulmate, or this is my person. And if they don't heal, grow, evolve, XYZ, right? Change, if these things don't happen, I'm never going to have the love that I deserve. Like, I can only have what I deserve as long as this person does something, as long as this person chooses me. And that right there is always a reflection of something deeply wounded within us. Because if we believe that the love that we deserve lies in the hands of the person who consistently doesn't choose us, then there's a part of us that believes that we don't deserve to be chosen, because our relationships with other people are a direct reflection of our relationship with ourselves. Every relationship is a mirror. Every relationship is pointing us to things that we need to know about ourselves. And I feel like in this connection, it feels like Spirit has a little bit of like a warning for you in association to waiting on this person, because waiting on somebody else puts the power 100% in their hands. It is basically you saying, I am incapable of having what I deserve, or having what I deserve to feel or experience if you don't give it to me. And that is never true. Your ability to be loved, to be chosen, to be valued never lies in the hands of another person. The more you give it to other people, the more that you don't have it. If you give away the power to be loved and chosen and valued to the people who don't do so, then you're not going to have it, right? So looking at that dynamic and understanding that from a different perspective can really help you in attracting the love that you do deserve, because we attract the love that we believe that we deserve, and then we got to do all that work to then attract the love that that we do actually deserve. So I feel like Spirit's asking you to look at this from a little bit of a different perspective, because the love that you deserve, truly, and I need you to hear me when I say this, the love that you deserve creates more clarity than confusion and more peace than chaos. The love that you deserve comes with an inner knowing that you are being loved and valued and chosen in the ways that you've always deserved, not an anxiety that you never will be. And sometimes we confuse the two, because the anxiety feels a lot like connection, and we think, oh, I feel so strongly about this person, but a lot of times we have really strong feelings toward the people that don't choose us, because it triggers those wounds of not being chosen and not being loved in the way that we deserve. And we believe that if that person chooses us, those wounds will finally be healed. So there's always kind of a deeper reason to why we're really drawn to things. And when we get honest about that psychologically and spiritually, we can start to break ourselves out from the cycle of waiting on somebody else to choose us, and we can start choosing us. We can start being what we have been looking for in other people, so that we can finally attract what aligns with our value. Because you do, Cancer, you do deserve a lot more than this. And like, I get a lot of requests for readings, obviously, and I get why. But, it's, oh, how do they feel about me, or what's their intention toward me, or, are their feelings toward me real? And I've really learned that, like, most of the time in readings, it's like, yeah, they do have feelings for you. But that does not matter, because somebody having feelings for you, somebody, being attracted to you, or somebody desiring you, that is like total bare minimum. That is not, somebody desiring you isn't love. Somebody, wanting to be with you isn't love. Love is an action. It's how somebody shows up. It's the effort. It's the active choice of, I am going to show up in association with what I deserve and with what this person deserves. And sometimes we wonder so much, well, how do they feel about me? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? Their actions tell you more about where they're at than their actual feelings do. Feelings are just going to confuse you, because you're going to go, if they feel that way, but they're acting this way, then maybe their actions will change to align with their feelings. That's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort on this person's, side of things. So your question shouldn't be, does this person have certain feelings for me? It should be, how can I go about receiving the love that I deserve without having to wait on somebody else to choose me? Because that's where your power lies. We don't have power over other people. We only have power over ourselves, right? And I think that's what Spirit's really trying to draw through in this reading. In between this connection, you have growth with divine timing. I'm going to hop on over to the extended, and we're going to dive deeper into this, looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. I also want to mention that this Friday is my How to Read Tarot workshop. I'm really excited about this workshop. Obviously, tarot is a huge part of my life. It's been a huge part of my journey, and learning to read tarot is literally the reason I've been able to manifest a life and a love beyond my wildest dreams. So I'm sharing all my secrets, spilling all of my knowledge in this workshop coming up this Friday. Tickets are still on sale. However, they are expected to sell out, though they might. We might be like right on the edge. So just mentioning that in case you have an interest. I don't want you to miss out on it. But any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, as always, Cancer, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing. And I'm wishing you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Cancer.